Yet another episode of We Bombastic Few, episode 7 of the 5th season. Excitement is in the air. Our previous episode came out on National Ice Cream Day, so if you did not eat ice cream during listening to our podcast, are you really living? People that are probably did not do such a thing are with me today, 2 of them. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
I eat ice cream every single day just in case. I don't know when National Ice Cream Day is, but I eat ice cream every day just to be prepared, just in case.
I respect it. I respect the game.
The way you said if you didn't eat ice cream while listening to our podcast, are you really living? Had a strangely threatening aura. And I'm Daniel.
Also,
I don't
Sounds
know.
like someone wants to fulfill a ghost.
You look at the words on a paper, you're like, all right, that's not a threat. You just said it in a really, you said it in a way, like you were trying to say something else. I don't know.
yeah.
Those are just my thoughts.
Well, I mean, if you don't threaten your listeners, are they really going to listen to your podcast?
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. That's been my experience in word of mouth spread. Just telling my friends, hey, listen to my podcast. And I mean, listen to my podcast.
They always ask me, it's like, listen, could we just listen to you in person instead of you locking us in the basement and forcing us to hear a recording of you? It's like, no, that's not how podcast works, you idiot. Now go back in the corner.
Do you ever see
Not
the Saw
loosening the
movies?
chains.
That's how we got our first listeners.
Because I've only seen the first one, but it's like I don't like the Saw movies. I don't want to continue down this path. They're messed up movies.
I haven't seen
back-
them. I just know the premise, and it seems messed up.
Moving away from Saw, I will take a step back. I cannot claim innocence of celebrating National Ice Cream Day because I, in fact, did buy ice cream to eat on National Ice Cream Day, and I bought it on National Ice Cream Day, and I forgot that I had it. So I apparently am not living according to my theory.
The secret ice cream police listen to this podcast and they're gonna get you.
They are already knocking on my door.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to
exactly.
go enjoy this episode.
The Department of International Ice Cream Day Global.
Intergalactically. Thank you very much.
Right.
This episode, we're going to do a mini qualgorithm as always. And by always, as always, just the past few episodes. A hypothetical, because what is a podcast without a hypothetical? And a little movie tier list, which Brent is really excited for because he's going to be able to flex how much unnecessary knowledge he has regarding movies.
Okay.
Which
Ah,
I'm
is it
excited
really
to hear
necessary?
as much as excited to hear the amount that exists in his brain.
I mean, you were corrected yourself when you said "as always" to make Qualgorithm. At this point, it kind of is an "as always" thing. We've done easily
here
a dozen.
on out, yes, but
Well, but I mean, it was like all of
It's
season
not-
4 too, right?
no, half of it.
Was it the middle of season 4?
Technicalities.
We have done
uh,
over 10 episodes with mini Qualgorithms. Easy.
But
This is true.
the bombastic word for this episode is hullabaloo. Sounds or a sound, especially when loud, confused, disagreeable.
I've always pronounced it halabaloo.
Well,
That's
Tomato,
it's the full
tomato.
name of the bear from Jungle Book.
well, funny story. So, yesterday I was leaving Starbucks after meeting up with a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, and I've got like, do you guys know what comes with phones? It's like a little ejector for the SIM card tray.
Sure.
Well, I have one of those on my keychain, and it's just something I picked up, and it just has come in handy a few times. Well, yesterday I reached into my jean pocket to leave Starbucks, and it stabbed my finger at like at the perfect
What?
angle. And
Did it go underneath the fingernail?
yes,
Bleh.
and you can see it through the fingernail, the trail that it went, which has happened like not with this, but like with staples. It's happened before where like this went through my fingers. Like, I'm not really bothered by it, but like it came to my realization this time. It's like, oh, I haven't had a tetanus shot and I don't remember how long, so I should probably look into that. And so I went through all of that, and so more or less I went to the urgent care and to get a tetanus shot, and I passed out once again to something being injected into my body, like I did. Like, I think I did a similar story last year when I got like my first cavity worked. Like, I passed out. I'm not afraid of needles whatsoever. I'll watch them pierce my skin. I'll watch them do whatever.
You're afraid of tetanus.
I'm not afraid of like anything regarding the shot, but like the second she left, I was like, oh, like I'm not. She's like, well, she gave me the shot. We like crack a few jokes, and then she's like, okay, after you gotta let you sit for 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna walk you out just to make sure everything's okay. Which I started feeling like a little like I was like I could tell that I was just heating up. I was like, oh, like this is not going to be good. But since she wanted me to sit for a little bit, I figured it was normal, that I just wasn't going to feel perfectly fine right away. So I sit there, and I'm on like that medical table, which typically is a little higher up than normal seating seats. And so I was like, oh, I'm like starting to feel a little hot and like a little nauseous. I'm going to move to the lower chair, and just to make sure if I do pass out and fall over, I'm falling from half as high as I would have if I was still on the medical table. And sure enough, like I start can't feel anything in my left hand, and then like my ears.
You sure she gave you a tetanus shot?
I don't know.
Was your wallet still on you as you left the urgent care? With the same amount of money you came in with?
My ears start ringing, and then I told her like it seemed like a light, like a lesser version of a pass out, because I kind of like accepted that was going to happen and just kind of let myself like what felt more like dozing off. But like there was like friends playing on a monitor, I guess, to entertain the patient, and I was watching, like was not focused on it when I initially passed out, because I was focused on how much I was sweating and not feeling right. And then I regained consciousness, and I'm like, oh, like I must be getting better, because like one, I just regained consciousness, and now I'm able to like hear and focus on what's happening on the show. So like I'm using that as a judgment of how much I'm able to like focus and if I'm feeling better. And as soon as I finished that thought, like I must have like passed out again, and like had the same thought process. Oh, I can focus again. Like I should be fine. I did like 3 or 4 times, and then she finally came in, and she was like, "Oh, you ready to go?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, but like I'm like sweating and I feel really nauseous. Is that normal?" And she was like she was just in shock. So apparently now I have a history of passing out to shots, and not because of the needle. So if you want to steal my wallet, injecting me with anything will give you a forgiving amount of time to take my wallet.
I was gonna say the next day you woke up with and Flash Thompson, the local school bully, tried to beat you up, but you found that you could dodge his punches quite easily, and Mary Jane happened to be walking by, and you caught her and her lunch tray, and was able to catch all the food items before they fell off said tray.
So it's
and
spider venom
related powers.
Is it spider venom is what I got injected with?
Well, it's tetanus related powers. You know, tetanus man.
Am I going to become Magneto for some reason?
Yeah.
It was actually a typo when they were making his name. It was supposed to be like Tentus Man, like tentacles. And so that'll be your
his power set really went through some serious rewrites throughout the course of that show.
They decided just to make a concoction of all the powers that give it to me and hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Checks out.
So, I meant to talk about this last episode, actually, but I believe it was 2 episodes ago, and we were talking about how many words each of us have used across the podcast in its entirety. And we asked Lindsay, and we're like, Lindsay, how many words do you think like, I have said, Brent said, and you have said. And he goes, well, if we're talking about, like, most to least, I'd say it's in that order. And I'd say, really, you think I've said the most, Brent said the second most, and Lindsay, and you've said the third most. He goes, no, you said Brent, then Daniel, then Lindsay. But when I was editing, I listened back to that segment, and I did say me, Brent, and you. And so you messed up the name order when we were talking about the order of most words used, not me. And I just wanted to clarify that for all the listeners at home who were confused.
Or something?
Yeah, I lost a lot of sleep over this. It was really agonizing and tearing me up.
Do you need an apology? Is that what you need?
No.
Formal written apology.
It's too late to apologize, Lindsay. It's too late.
Too late? Intriguing. Well, I'm glad that in the episode, like you just expressed, we clarified what order we meant.
Yes. But anyways, that's all I had. I just wanted to get that out there.
Clear the air. Yeah.
I will.
There's a big weight off my shoulders.
I'm glad you can sleep at night now.
I will lose sleep over stuff like that sometimes, not because I want to be right, but because I refuse to believe I remembered something incorrectly. Like, someone will be like, oh no, it didn't happen that way, this happened. And it's like, no, it's not about being right, it's that I cannot believe that I do not remember the correct order of something happening.
I heard something the other day about how much, like, I don't know if any numbers were provided, but how much, like, your perception of an event, like, you automatically kind of taint when you try to, like, go through it again in your mind, like even if you're not aware of it. I think there's like some research on the amount of variance between the two times, which I think is crazy. But you do have a pretty good memory, I will give you that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, there was a transition somewhere that I lost it. So what if I told you guys that there's a parasite that is caused by cats that affects, according to this article I'm reading from Silence Daily, they silence one person every day. From ScienceDaily.com, between 30 and 50% of the global population is believed to be infected.
And what is?
So what are, I hear you asking, what are the effects of said parasite? You take more risks. So the parasite is called, or it's a like a subdivision or whatever you want to call it. I'm not a doctor. Let me preface this entire section by saying I'm not a doctor. Toxoplasma is a common cat parasite and has previously been in the spotlight owing to its deserved effect on risk-taking and other human behaviors. And so I heard about this from another podcast, and I felt the need to continue it on to our listeners. There's a separate website, much less reputable website, but this website claims that Dr. Sapolsky has said that you are 3 to 4 times more likely to be killed in car accidents. Motorcyclists are, if that you have this like parasite or this toxoplasma in your system.
Huh.
So toxoplasma, it's carried by cats.
Yep.
Passes to humans. Then the humans are risk takers.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's interesting, like, combining that with, like, other cat owner stereotype, like crazy cat lady, right? Well, I guess the crazy part might come into play there. But, like, picture, like, the person who, like, is a recluse at home and just has, like, cats everywhere. It doesn't line up with that in my head.
Well, so specifically, there's a thing that talks about this. So like infected rodents, is how it's transmitted, like between cats, and because the parasite, it affects the rodents as well. It makes them more risk taking, and they will be like less wary of cats, which like helps it spread. And also allegedly there's a pill you can take to mitigate its effects.
To
I
be
wonder if
less
you could-
of a risk taker.
Yeah. But honestly, you at some point it gets into like I don't know about this anymore. But
I mean, it sounds kind of
the-
like. Have you heard of that disease that ticks can carry that makes you like? Okay, I can't connect this to a verifiable source, so I don't know if this is just like some random like clickbait hearsay I heard. There's like some tick disease that like supposedly makes you allergic to red meat.
I have heard some along those lines. Yes.
yeah, that sounds vaguely familiar enough to be real. Or real enough to have been seen on the internet.
All right, let's see.
The
Oh, hold on. I found a .org website called Mayo Clinic. They operate using mayonnaise. Alpha-gal syndrome is a recently identified type of food allergy to red meat and other products made from mammals. In the U.S., it's most often caused by a Lone Star tick bite. Thanks, Texas. Thanks a lot.
yeah, way to ruin everything.
Sheesh.
Is it permanent?
That's a good question. Wait. How long after a tick bite are you allergic to meat? Symptoms commonly appear 2 to 6 hours after eating meat or dairy products. And allergic reactions can be different person to person. But how long? Oh, is it permanent? In some cases it could be, but in most cases we think it will dissipate over time, usually within a couple years.
That's
A
sad.
couple of years, jeez. This is why you never go outside, kids. Your
Yeah.
parents are trying to trick you.
Stay inside.
Your computer is safe.
Listen to one podcast and stuff.
No, you do it like
Exactly.
Wesley in Princess Bride, and he makes himself immune to the poisons over time just by taking in small doses. You make yourself immune to every tick disease by letting ticks bite you every day. You harvest.
you would have to
and
do
grow
like
ticks.
I feel like you'd have to start out with a quarter of a tick bite or something though. Like it's almost bit you, but then you pull it away, and then you're fine.
I mean,
and then the next day you let it get closer to
I
having
don't.
bit you.
I don't think you can get like a smaller dose of what is it called, like Rocky Mountain fever, or
I
Lyme
think not.
disease. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess. I'm just gonna stick with my original statement. I don't know enough to clarify. But speaking of knowing stuff, bombastic quote. This one from Lee Seagull, who is probably a famous person. A man with one watch knows what time it is. A man with two watches is never quite sure. And now, the hypothetical. This one is kind of interesting because it was actually also caused by ticks, and this one guy, I forget his name, but he was camping, and he got bit by one tick, and it gave him these like extrasensory powers, right? You know, psychic abilities, and it kind of connected his mind across, everyone in the planet. Really weird tick, very obscure. Hasn't been identified, I guess, because we don't know how this happened, but we're pretty sure it was a tick because they carry the weirdest diseases. And we also believe another tick came along. We believe this is how this happened, that it came along and bit him and gave him the ability to teleport. And somehow this knowledge got transferred across the psychic network, and slowly but surely everyone kind of discovered they are able to teleport, but the amount of time it takes you to teleport from one place to another is 1.5 times the amount of time it takes to drive. So
Okay. Is there like a standard to the drive time?
Well, that's what I was going to say. So I think the first thing is the government's raising the speed limits on every road to becoming an autobahn. And that way, I'd say for whatever reason, just the way the tick bites worked, like if you Google it right now, that if you looked it up, how long it takes to get somewhere.
Well,
currently.
let's just say the average speed limit across all roads. This is probably way too high, but I'm just gonna put the number out there. 60 miles an hour. Let's just call that drive time. So, teleportation speed is 40 miles an hour.
I don't know, because in my head, so let's say I want to go somewhere that's 5 minutes away, right? By driving, It is a lot closer than the equivalent, using that rate you just said, that equivalent distance. But there's the issue of stop signs and like residential areas, which I think should be factored in. I don't think you get to like as the crow flies type thing.
Okay.
And instantly accelerate to teleport speed.
So, okay, right now, I'm inside my apartment, and I want to
Yes.
teleport to my front door. I cannot drive there.
Okay.
But you get there for
so
see, that's why I think it'd just be easier to go, as the crow flies, just a straight line, 40 miles an hour.
it is easier logically, but I don't like the ramifications. of
Okay,
it.
so you can teleport in as well, because we could make the speed much slower, but then it's, I'm just saying, like, it's hard to quantify how this affects, like, aside from commute times, maybe, like, it wouldn't affect a lot unless we just go straight shot.
Did you pronounce commute?
Same thing. Tomato, tomato. Well, Lindsay pronounced hullabaloo wrong. What are you getting on me for?
You just pronounce it wrong.
That's
as
how you
put
say
a T in
hullabaloo.
front of it.
I don't know. So, Lindsay, to answer your question, in my head, how it worked is, so you decided to teleport. You equivalently got in your car and drove to your own apartment, which takes 0 minutes. And so but in my head, you can only teleport to like where the road ends. Like, roads are still vitally important for teleporting.
Okay, so sidewalks
For whatever reason.
and side of roads is anywhere you can teleport to and from.
Definitely two. I don't know. There are lots of.
Dude,
I guess we could just go.
You know what's
Okay,
crazy? Kidnapping rates hit 0.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I-
attempted kidnaps might be pretty high, but like, or
Dude,
might
you-
say
you-
the same, but like successful ones definitely don't last.
You just for all you kidnappers out there, don't worry. Your business isn't gone. You just gotta knock them out first. You can't kidnap a conscious person. That's rule number 1 in kidnapping.
And you have to keep them somewhere where there isn't a road.
Exactly.
So,
like,
because if they get a road, they're gone.
The instant, like, solution to finding, like, missing person, you have to go to, like, secluded areas. It can't just be, like, in someone's house, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, am I allowed to like think? Do I have the capacity to like have like a meditation or a brainstorming time while I'm teleporting?
No.
Interesting.
You it's as if the time just didn't exist for you.
So you don't age.
Because you age.
Yeah, you're putting all these, like, modifiers on it. To,
I
like,
know.
limit-
It's
limit-
just how I see it in my head. We can change it if we need to, but I like.
No, it's
you
fine,
don't.
it's fine.
You don't get a crazy. Like, you don't get power. That's the thing, right? Is it's powers with consequence, and I think if you add any benefits like you don't age during this time, then it becomes too powerful. And so
sports are now all taking place
On roads.
in parking lots, and like people are teleporting, and like since it's only going to take you a few like seconds drive time to get like 2 spots down, like it's only going to take you a couple of seconds extra to get from your current place to another place.
I was gonna say we could just ignore it, but I feel like we do need to address it, because in my head, you needed to get in your car, you needed to start it, you need to put it in reverse, get out of the parking spot, put it in drive, and then
Is
go
it
3
anywhere
spaces
you
over.
can get with a car you can teleport, or is it anywhere with a speed
Yeah.
limit you can get?
We'll say get with a car,
Okay.
as I already am beginning to regret where this will go.
Oh,
but
I was gonna talk about
your speed
walking
limit
next to
is
pools.
this.
You can't run next to pools without lifeguard. Gear.
So like if you off road, right? You can no, because we said you needed a road. I don't know. But okay, so I think the biggest one why not we talk about the elephant in the room, commuting. Do people drive to commute or do they teleport?
I mean, it depends like how efficient you are with your morning, right? Like if you're like it's a 25-minute drive to work if I drive at normal speed and I have 20 minutes to get there, you're driving.
Yeah.
But if it's like, oh, I woke up early and, I got out of bed, did my thing, and like I have an hour to get to work, maybe you just teleport.
Well, I mean, with a standard 9 to 5 too, like that can add so much time than a standard like just going the speed limit. So if you're in the middle of rush hour, you would want to teleport because in theory you'd save time.
Dude,
unless you live very close to work.
There might not be rush hour. Like rush hour becomes like the people scrambling to get to work, and so everyone's going fast anyways.
So that's an interesting question, because like you guys keep mentioning speed limits, but I'm gonna talk about it as I imagine it, and you guys can picture it however you want. But so like I'm going off of like if you look up on maps how long will it take you to get there. So so like let's say there's no traffic, takes you 10 minutes to get there. There's now a lot of traffic, it takes you 20 minutes to get there. So now to teleport, it takes you 30 minutes.
Dude, you know what's crazy? Crime keeps coming into this. You know how easy it is to get into like secure facilities, because cars can get through like the gates and stuff. So you just teleport yourself on the other side.
Exactly. Well, I think now, but like there's just no longer the car security booth thing. It's now just in the building.
So, are you saying that
rush hour affects teleport time?
No, continue. I had a bad thought, or I had a loss of my thought.
So currently takes me 34 minutes to drive to work, right? On average, and when you look it up, that's how long it takes.
Okay, so if I don't have the brain capacity to think, meditate, or whatever, am I resting during this time?
It's as if the time literally just doesn't exist for you. Like you've decided to teleport, and as soon like the next literal instance you are aware is you are there.
I mean, that's how sleeping feels like sometimes.
Nah.
So
maybe.
I mean, I feel like
you didn't gain any rest. Like you do not feel rested.
Okay.
For doing this.
Okay.
Anyway, so
I don't see much benefit to this.
The benefit is you don't have to like be in a car, basically. Or
but I'm not saving any time.
That is the thesis of this. It is the exact opposite, in fact.
It's not worth exactly. Therefore, it's not worth my time.
Okay. Here's one thing: safer. You literally you cannot die in a car accident if you teleport. Also, so you want to teleport 15 hours away. It's now gonna take you like 50% longer, but you don't have to be in a car for 15 hours.
Wait. Okay. I am starting to.
Oh my goodness.
Think of something. No. I think this is going to benefit the situation. So say I want to drive. You can even go 15, 20 hours, and the current day I would potentially plan a time to sleep if I was the one driving the entire time. But in theory, don't have to do that. I can in theory get there quicker because nonstop, either way, I'm going to get there quick.
How tired are you after having quote unquote drove for 30, like teleported, but the equivalent drive of like 30 hours? Is that what you're asking?
Well, yeah, that's like I guess, but I drive 20 or just supposed to drive 20 hours. I would have rested, which would have added a lot more time to my entire trip, but I could just take, which would take at least 8 hours bare minimum. But like that's still checking into a hotel room, checking out, blah blah blah, doing whatever I do outside of my 8 hours of sleep. But just teleporting, it's nonstop, so you're still going to get there in 30 hours versus 20 hours with potential stops for bathroom, stops for teleporting bathrooms. What's going on with that? Do I have to wear a diaper while I'm teleporting?
No. The bowels is the one thing that isn't affected by this time dilation. But that's an so you wanted to go 20 hours away, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you teleported, so it took you 30 hours.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say, like, I think when so like you've teleported, you arrived there, you're immediately hit with the I don't know. So you didn't rest, but so you're not any like less tired, but you're not any more tired.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If the next moment of consciousness or ability to exert any energy is like you at the next place, I would argue that it wouldn't.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say you're in stasis, except for the fact that you did still age.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Man, I didn't think about how many stipulations this one would need. But anyway, so going back to 34 minutes compared to 51 minutes. Like that it with with generous rounding, that's a difference of a half hour and an hour.
I mean, if you genuinely just completely hate a car ride and that puts a mental tax on you, go for it 100%. But just the fact that I know that I will not be saving any time is enough for me to still drive, I feel like.
Yeah.
I think this would have been...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you.
I was literally just about to say no you. That's fun.
You guys are so cute.
Right? This is a romance podcast now. I totally lost my train of thought.
So I think this would have been most useful for me in college, because in college I had infinite time. Like, literally had time coming out of my ears. I would have teleported to California and then Canada and then New York all in a week just because I had that kind of time.
Yeah,
intriguing.
What I would do in college is, because, I was like, I didn't have that much free time in college. And I thought back, I was like, I actually had a lot of free time in college. Because what I would do is, anytime I had free time between classes, I would just be shooting pool in the student center. Or I would get into my friend's apartment and I would make rice in their Instapot. And then, hang out or do whatever. And basically do anything but be productive until the last minute and be like, why do I have so much work and so little time?
I think
So nothing changed in college for you.
I think a potential
exactly
way to utilize this would be just if you have to just strictly wait for something, you could do a calculation about, okay, I want to teleport here and back. And that way, if you knew that, you have nothing to do until noon today to meet up for lunch, you would just calculate how to map out your day, your teleports, to make sure, consciously you're not wasting energy just waiting there. You're able to just move on with your day in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was thinking is, my train of thought just came back to me, is one of the joys of having a car is being able to go and see movies with your friends. That's why movie theaters are popular. It's a good time. You just go get a nice bowl of popcorn, whatever. So you hang out. But a lot of times, if you're just binging a show on Netflix or something, you're not going to invite. A lot of times you're just kind of doing that by yourself. And if someone's like, hey, come over and binge a show with me, and I'm just on the couch, it's I could just binge it here. But if I can teleport there, it makes it really easy to get together and watch stuff. But at that point, if you're watching stuff together, why are people paying for these subscriptions? You could be buying box sets of movies. And where are you going to find box sets of your favorite 90s TV shows on VHS?
as well as well-priced small boxes of candy as if you were at the movie theater.
Exactly.
And the ability to rent them.
Mm-hmm. The candy.
Yeah, specifically.
Yeah.
Must be returned in
Yeah.
greater or same.
I don't remember
Only
renting
5
candy
licks
from your
differential.
Yeah. So Daniel's seeing this as a lazy sense. Brent's seeing this as a cool sense, and I'm just seeing this as not effective.
Anyways,
I
Blockbuster
think
came
it-
back.
Yeah, indeed.
And
What
Radio
did it
Shack.
do to the airline industry, right? Because you want to fly from Dallas to California, because I have done that flight. It's like 4 hours. So is that right? I don't know. I think
Dallas
that
to
might be
where in
right.
California?
It was LAX.
Okay.
Dallas Fort Worth to
I was gonna
LAX.
say,
Um,
there's a lot of different airports in California.
it's either 4 hours or 2 hours. I think it's 4 hours. Anyway,
Probably 4.
so
2 hours would be
Four-
super fast for Texas to Cali.
so that seems right. So planes go like 500 something miles per hour. So we'll just say it's 10 times faster. No, no.
So can you
All right, we're just gonna Google stuff.
let's say you wanted to go somewhere that's like across the ocean. No roads exist to this place.
I don't think you can.
If you attempted to do it, you'd be like stuck forever in the unconsciousness and stasis.
What happened to Jimmy? Oh, he tried to teleport to England, but he forgot he was in the United States.
Instead of he flew too close to the sun, he teleported across the ocean or something like that.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to be
okay.
like the Amelia Earhart of teleporting, but they all just like disappear because you can't.
Okay, so it looks like it's a 3-hour flight versus a 21-hour drive, which is like, so 30 and a half hours, which get you there instantly and for free, versus, also gas prices. Pfft, screw big oil. I teleport everywhere. Me and my homies teleport. Anyway, so 3 hours versus 30 hours to teleport. So
I think-
10 times faster to fly, but you have to.
I think
Currently, you can get a flight for $218.
The airline situation stays about the same as it is in our current day because it if you can do it, it's a quicker way to do it. So why not do it? Type thing.
Because you have to go through security, and then you have to get to the airport 2 hours early.
Oh my god, it's
You have to
still
have someone
early.
pick you up, and have someone drop you off,
That's my argument, but
or get an Uber.
a more important thing: what is the new version of drive-throughs?
I think it's just a. they
Like a
just-
hub.
Dude,
that
set
people
up-
just
no,
teleport
like
into?
we already have it. You just like do curbside pickup and teleport there.
I think everywhere becomes Sonic, basically, right? Where you teleport into a stall.
But I
and then
think
you
I
just
think
press a
ordering
button.
ahead, like it's a mix between curbside pickup and probably that, where it's like you have to order ahead because you got to teleport there.
Yeah, but
Can you-
like
so,
imagine
can
you're
you
trying
imagine,
to
like-
get your whole family there, right? You got like a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, like, all right, teleport to, I don't know, Red Robin.
And they don't show up, and you're like, oh my goodness,
It's like
where'd they go?
It's like the scene of the second Harry Potter. Instead of Diagon Alley, he says diagonally, and goes to like a completely different place. That's much more dangerous. Can never trust a young kid with teleported powers.
I was thinking, so you order some food from like Grubhub or something, right? And there's like an extra expedite order that costs a lot of money, but the person will just teleport the food to you.
No, why would it cost more money? I feel like it would cost less to have someone teleport because it takes them longer.
Well, yeah, you're just paying for their time.
Yeah.
I guess. That's a good point. I didn't think about the fact that it would take long. Yeah, so that's terrible.
It's less immediate, but
Never mind. That service doesn't exist. That would be terrible. Why
Dude,
would you?
everywhere would have outdoor seating. Like you just teleport to the curbside pickup, and you just eat at the outdoor seating, and then go back.
Mhm.
Then you can like get your food fresh. all that. Dude, that's how
Yeah.
that's how they would know like how fast to get your order ready. Like you would put in your address, it would like use a GPS to calculate the route, and if you say you're teleporting, it knows exactly when you're gonna get there. It'll be like teleport at this time, and your food will be ready.
Yeah. Because like Google currently has the I'm leaving now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I want to arrive now, and I am teleporting, and then it just calculates for you when you need to teleport. But any other teleporting thoughts?
Drive-in movies are just like no cars. You just teleport there.
Right.
It's an outdoor movie.
Lawn chair. You got to bring a
If
lawn
it's
chair.
anywhere you can get with a car, you can get a car onto most like tracks, like for track and field. And so like I feel like there'd be a lot of like cheating situations where people would be doing little micro teleportations in the middle of their sprint to like inch themselves a little further with each stride. And so like
But
they're like in very small instances going, much faster than their sprint.
but because like what's the average drive speed for a track?
I mean, there's no speed limit. That's the crazy part.
Right.
There's definitely a limit to how fast you can go on a track being safe, but I've never seen a speed limit sign posted on a track.
That would be so funny. Just the school being funny put up a speed limit sign.
That's how
on
you
a track.
limit the cheating. You make the speed limit like 5 miles an hour, and then like even if you were to cheat, it would just be slower than running.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a good point. Anyway, that's it. So, before we move on, we're going to take a quick word from our sponsors. 3-stringed yo-yos. Have you ever used a yo-yo before and thought to yourself, man, I don't know how I'm supposed to hold on to this thing. I'm trying to walk the dog. I'm trying to do all these crazy tricks, but it's so hard to hold on to. There's only the one string. Well, no more. With 3-stringed yo-yos, you have one for each hand and for your head. It goes around like a collar, and you can put one string on each other hand, and you can truly master the yo-yo. Have you guys been able to do any tricks with the 3-stringed yo-yo?
I've been trying. I used to know a few tricks like when I was 8 or 9, and so I've been trying to relearn some of those. Walking the dog's a lot easier with 3 strings. It gives you a little more coordination on that. Haven't been able to get into the complex stuff, but it's a really fun toy. I'm glad they came up with it. It's a really neat idea.
Yeah, I personally never got good with just the standard yo-yo, and I thought when they offered to sponsor our episode, I was thinking, why would I accept the talent of being able to use a single string yo-yo when I could just master the 3-string yo-yo? So I have been working day and night to become better at it, and I'd probably say that my progress is immeasurable of my mastery of it.
And if you order one now, you can get a free VHS with 7 free tricks on it.
Wow.
So
Top
go
tier.
ahead and do that now. Anyway, segment C. We got a tier list of the movies. I'll share my screen so we can all look at the same thing. Someone tell me how to do that. I figured it out. No one worry. Okay. Are we good?
Yes.
Are we doing things? Okay. So, tier list. We got S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and D tier. That what we are making a tier list of is movie trilogies. So, we're going to start out with Thor. And it's only got the 3 because apparently this was made before Thor Love and Thunder came out.
That one just came out. Okay, so the
Let's tell you
second
what,
one.
I'm just going to do this right here.
C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Is anyone upset?
I will accept it.
Because the first one
All
couldn't
right.
even tell you what happened during the first one. entirely forgettable. Second one, I could tell you
Garbage.
one thing about happened during the second one. Third one, it
Really
was
good.
funny and all, but not
It
enough to
definitely-
carry the entire series.
Okay, it does carry it to some extent, but I don't think it carries it to A or S. But I'll accept the C for now.
All right, moving on. Captain America, for me, easy A.
Uh,
And I can be
Wait,
argued.
wait,
higher.
hold on. It's Captain
tier.
America, Winter Soldier, and
Oh.
what's the third one?
Civil War.
Civil War. Get out of here with your B.
No, absolutely
Like,
B
the
tier
only-
highest.
No.
I
Why?
okay. I couldn't tell you.
Civil War
much
wasn't even
about-
his own movie, so you can't really like
What
just
do you
give it
mean?
credit to
Well,
him.
Okay,
Uh,
it's not.
Captain
This
America,
isn't
Winter
about
Soldier.
Captain America as a character.
can't-
It's
Yeah,
about
it
the
doesn't-
movies.
I can't even tell you what happens in the second one. I'm sure it has to do with his buddy
I
Bucky.
don't
but like,
believe you.
I'm dead serious. And I don't believe you that you don't remember the first Thor movie, even though I don't think it was that great. The first one, all right. It was a great first of the MCU movies, like first few, but like honestly does not hold the water these days. I don't think it's that good. I think
Oh
B
my-
tier. Absolutely.
Daniel, you got to tie break this because
It's hard.
honestly, I don't know why I didn't put it S tier.
Okay, I don't think it's S tier. I think A tier is pretty fair for it. I remember enjoying all those movies, but I've never I don't think there's any Marvel movie that I walked out like that was like super good, except maybe the first Iron Man. I love the first Iron Man.
Well, okay, so
You're
we're
in
leaving
for a
it at
treat.
A. So next one, Iron Man. What are we thinking?
B tier.
So
I think
the
yeah, B is probably fair. First one,
I like
as
Iron Man a
other
lot
two
more.
bring it down.
I like Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2 very good. Iron Man 3, I hate what they did to my boy, I forgot my boy's name. What's my boy's name?
Is 3 the one where the guy
the
comes
man-
onto the NASCAR track with like
it's not-
electric whips?
No, that's the
the
second one.
Mandarin or something like that.
The Mandarin. I kept thinking
The Ten
Mandalorian.
Rings, dude. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I was like, it was not the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
Although
I
that
agree.
would have made it. my
Like
favorite.
right before I saw that movie, like I watched like a different like Avengers show, and they went into like the Ten Rings and things with a Mandarin, and they did like it got me so excited for that movie, but it ended up being so poor, like
Yeah.
comparable to how they did Mysterio poor.
Okay. Next, we got Spider-Man, the original Tobey Maguire trilogy.
Okay, I frankly
And so-
do not recall much of these movies.
All right.
I'm feeling B or A.
I'd go. I
I'm
think.
comfortable with
I
those.
think how iconic it is, like pulls it up, but maybe
Mm-hmm.
quality wise, I think A or B is fair quality wise, but I think you have to put it in A because it's so iconic.
Yeah. Like 1 and 2 are just phenomenal. Like 3, like arguments could be made for like 3 really makes me question because like it single-handedly almost like brought down the
You know what?
superhero industry.
I don't remember the
for
part where
several
that's my
years.
problem. Put it in S.
My favorite videos online is bully Tobey Maguire like videos. If you want to do yourself a favor, go on YouTube and look up Bully Maguire and then just watch any of them where and there's this YouTuber that will replace like movie villains with like just scenes of Tobey Maguire from the third movie. Funniest thing. Anyway,
I
all
think
right, we
that's
need to
top
go
tier.
a little faster if we want to go through these.
Yeah.
All right, original Star Wars trilogy. I feel like that's gotta be S tier, just because like it literally started a genre.
I mean,
Like,
yeah,
it didn't. It was not the first science fiction movie, but like it is the reason science fiction is what it is today.
I think
if not-
if we're like judging the iconicness and the nostalgia behind it, I think there's definitely arguments for A or for S, but I'm leaning a little more towards A, just because But I also like if movies get hyped up for me like that, like decreases how much I enjoy the movie, just because I'm expecting a masterpiece, and if it's anything short of it, I think slightly less of it. But that's a personal problem. So I'd say A, but I can understand S as well.
Daniel.
I remember almost nothing from any of the Star Wars movies, so I don't really.
Okay, continue on then.
All right, well, move on. So then we've got the prequel trilogy of Star Wars.
I'd say
Okay,
B.
but if we're gonna rank for meta stuff, like how like it started a genre. The
Memes.
prequel is goated for memes.
Yeah. I am a proud member of the prequel memes subreddit, and so this does not accurately represent my representation, but without Revenge of the Sith, honestly, the prequel trilogy, whew, I don't think it would have a leg to stand on without Revenge of the Sith. And so
I would agree. I think episode 2 has a few, like, some structure to it in terms of credibility, but like honestly, as movies, I did not enjoy the first and second one that much.
Isn't it? Aren't the prequels what introduced General Grievous? Or is that the original?
Yes. No, the third movie was the only movie he was in.
I don't know if the Clone Wars came out after the prequels, right?
Correct.
Because I know there was...
Yeah.
I think that's right. Anyway,
great character.
Okay, I'm gonna jump around on this list just so we don't always do the same types of movies. All right, Matrix. I'm feeling C.
Okay, first one's
really good.
Second one, A or B tier.
Honestly, I don't even know if I would put the first one at A tier.
Are you
serious? It was good, original, and good, but
I think
the original Matrix.
I'm sure you come here for my amazing reviews.
The reason the series is respected. Original Matrix is S tier. I haven't seen 2 or 3, so I can't.
Don't watch them.
I want to at some point.
Diminishing
leave
returns.
it in C tier here.
Yeah,
I would put it at bottom. Put it at bottom of B. I think.
Can you? I don't know.
No, the very end. It doesn't matter. Just leave it.
I'm ruining everything. I don't know what's happening.
It's currently it goes SCBA.
What is happening right now? Oh, okay.
It's moving the tiers up and down when you press the arrows.
Yeah. I got it. Okay. Kung Fu Panda.
S tier.
I want to put
S tier or A tier. I don't accept anything less.
Well, yeah. So I was gonna go A.
I just rewatched the second and third one this past 2 weekends ago. Love these movies. No. S tier.
Put it in
S tier.
So the third one is the only reason I'm okay with putting it in A. If it were just 1 and 2, we would have to create a new tier beyond
No, the third
S
one
tier.
is still good.
It's good, but it's not 1 and 2 good.
Yeah, I think it's just because it's not you like one big powerful character, and the third one's oh no, let's make it a community thing. We're working together.
Well, no, it's not even. It's just that
Kung Fu Panda started a genre of animals becoming kung fu masters in ancient China.
Yes, really, it started the trend. Do you know how many kung fu animals there were in China in the mid-century?
Okay.
I don't know what century, but the mid one.
It's the middle of that.
All right, we need to get through these. Indiana Jones. We're ignoring Kingdom of the Crystal Skull because it doesn't exist.
I would go somewhere in A. I think.
B. No, B.
B.
I did not like them nearly as much as Kung Fu Panda.
I enjoyed them quite a bit.
All right, that's fair. I don't like Temple of Doom that much, which is an incredibly original opinion. I know.
They all are blended together in my mind. I could not tell you what exactly happens in any of them. It's
classic action films.
We're gonna do War for the Planet of the Apes, It's just Planet of the Apes, but it's the newest one. That's Dawn, Rise, and War.
I don't think I've seen any of them.
Love these movies. The third one honestly kind of falls off a little bit.
Are you willing to put Planet of the Apes over Indiana Jones?
Yes. I
really
love Planet of the Apes. I think it's such a good series.
I have not seen a single Apes movie, so I can't.
Okay, well in that case I get the free say because I've seen all of them.
Pick a series
and
we've
not
seen.
even just those 3. All right. Have you guys seen Lord of the Rings?
Yes, I've seen Lord of the Rings.
Okay, what are we thinking?
Super good film. That's the best film adaptation of a book I've seen, I think. And the soundtrack is killer.
I have not read the book, so
I don't think Lord of the Rings holds as much water as everyone hypes it up to be. I
also think you're just not a fantasy person, though.
Well, I think I'm definitely growing into it a little more, but I just don't think that it just was like everyone was talking about how these movies are so great, and then like the entire movie is just them walking. It's just like the action's all right,
Don't
the dialogue's all right, but it's just walking. It's just
we all have some mutual friends that insist on watching extended cut, and it's like, all right, hold on here. I don't got 87 hours.
they should have cut way more out of the
I don't
of the
think
cut versions.
I don't think it's fair to put the original Star Wars trilogy in S and not Lord of the Rings.
I would disagree.
S tier. Ooh. I mean,
Because like
I don't
the
know.
same reasons you put like Star Wars in S tier, like Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings literally created a genre.
yeah, but I also
Which
really,
I didn't
which Star
put
Wars is a subgenre of.
Which I did not put the original trilogy in S tier, so I can argue that Lord of the Rings does not belong in S tier without any regret.
I don't know. I think Lord of the Rings
I'd
is
say
just a series
B
that I
tier.
saw too young. Like before I could truly appreciate like
I could
I'm
accept
just
that
gonna say
argument
art.
for myself as well.
And so
When I look
it,
at the
like-
series in A tier, I like Lord of the Rings more than them.
that's fair. All right, Pirates of the Caribbean. Now we're only counting the first three,
I've only seen bits and
I-
pieces. I haven't seen the entire films.
but you were laughing during every single bit and piece you
I
saw.
did enjoy
Like,
the pieces, yeah.
The movies did exactly what they were trying to do, and I have to respect that. And they are good movies overall, even if they didn't do it exactly.
I wouldn't weigh
My boy Johnny Depp
my
was phenomenal.
my input heavily, but I'd say that it has potential for I would put it near A or B as like you're putting.
I'm hovering over A or B right
I'm
now.
thinking A myself.
I like A. They are so funny, and they're so they're very rewatchable.
Yeah,
just because you didn't care about the plot, it's just very enjoyable to just watch
like,
what's going on.
Legitimate plot, but it doesn't matter if you don't follow the plot. It's just a very entertaining
Exactly.
experience.
I think it's very broad stroke. You can get a lot of people. All right, let's go back to superheroes for a little bit. We got the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. I already
Okay.
know where Lindsay wants.
No.
this.
I would like you to hear my input before you assume anything. Okay, I'm gonna rank them individually. The Dark Knight S plus
Yeah.
tier, but I would say that Batman Begins is A or B, and The Dark Knight Rises is B or C. So that averages
I
out
agree
to
with
A or
every
B.
single one of those.
A or B is where I think it averages out to.
When I look at it on par with Indiana Jones and Iron Man and the prequel Star Wars, that makes sense with me.
That
Right,
doesn't for
'cause
me. I would vote more A in that mindset.
Because almost everything B tier has a phenomenal movie, like a pretty good one,
but
and then
not
a
Dark
mildly
Knight phenomenal.
okay. I mean, I really like Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Um,
Daniel, what's your
okay,
take on the
so
Dark Knight?
hold on. So let's just say someone gives you three options. You're spending the night at their house. Would you rather watch Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy, the Iron Man trilogy, or the Dark Knight trilogy?
I would.
Pirates of the Caribbean, just
My-
because it is for the reason I gave of just it is more rewatchable.
I would
Okay,
put
but-
I don't know why I didn't include Kung Fu Panda series in there, but I would equal it to Kung Fu Panda series trilogy. Sorry.
See, Kung Fu Panda's got two bangers.
Hey,
See,
so-
in A tier for me, they have two bangers, like two absolutely phenomenal movies, and then one that's kind of eh.
Daniel, where are you putting it? We've got A and a B tier.
I'd be. I probably top of. Yeah, I think B tier is fair for it. It seems pretty about on the level.
I'm
of the other
more than
movies.
willing to accept that since I put two of them near B tier.
Okay, the Madagascar movies. I love Madagascar 1 and 2.
They're definitely enjoyable, but it's another trilogy that they all blend together in my mind. It's all similar elements are happening, but they're still enjoyable. I'd say
It
I
has
can't put it in
been
the Dark
many
Knight. It's C tier.
years.
Yeah.
I was gonna say bottom of B, but yeah, I can take C.
I think we're keeping it just strictly the tiers and not top or bottom of the tier. We're not doing
All right.
sub tiering.
I'm gonna do some crazy stuff right here because we still got a decent amount on this list. Narnia, I'm putting that in D tier.
As a kid, I'd
sorry,
argue C or
Narnia.
so, but I think that's okay.
Yeah, the movie's not that great. Can't speak to
Yeah.
the book. It's been too long since I've read it.
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and then it has another one I can't read because the font's so small on the stupid thing. Also putting D tier.
I've seen like
Their jokes,
the first
the
30
jokes
minutes
don't
of
hit
Hot
for
Fuzz.
me. The
right.
like that mate Simon Pegg, I think is the actor, right? He's just
So, okay.
not my humor.
Didn't even know this was a trilogy, but I see a picture of Curious George on there. I think you have to put it in S.
Okay, the one Curious
Curious
George movie
George already
that I've
is
seen
in S.
was actually pretty decent, but I haven't
Oh,
seen the other two.
absolutely. I used to love Curious George.
Yeah. But I don't know
so
if S
also-
is legitimate though.
Back
Toy
to the
Story,
Future
Brent's
S-
gonna argue
A-
S,
or
but I'm gonna say
No.
C
The
or
third
B.
one, like, now I did watch Toy Story 2 on VHS at minimum 100 times.
That's what I say
but-
about The Dark Knight, genuinely almost 100 times.
Honestly, I want Toy Story B tier just because I wasn't even allowed to watch the first one.
Toy Story stands in shambles
for
right now.
several years.
Yes, it does.
Um,
That's too political for our taste, though.
All right.
Godfather can't speak
Godfather.
to it.
It's good. It's really good,
Like,
but
I
they're
know
really
it.
long.
First one definitely carries. Second one also probably A tier. I don't think I've
I will
seen
say,
all of the third
one
one.
and two are each in the top 10 of IMDb top 250. So
Yeah, I mean, I'd be
Okay.
fine with A or S for Godfather because it is also pretty iconic. I mean,
I'll throw it in A.
everyone's got their
Um,
own impersonation of Marlon Brando's Godfather. You know,
Exactly.
with the cotton balls
Alright.
down his throat.
Yeah. Hangover trilogy. I'm just putting it in C. Any complaints?
I haven't
I think I've
seen
only seen
all
one
of
of them.
any of them. I've seen part of one and part of
Oh,
three.
no. Screw that. Hangover doesn't get to be with Madagascar. I'm putting Hangover in D.
It's a different sense of humor, but it still made me laugh. So, like, I feel like you could compare it in the sense of it. Both of them made me laugh.
Okay. Spy Kids, C. Carried
But
by the
the-
third movie, but C.
Spy. Okay.
D tier. No.
I haven't watched Spy Kids, so
That's a garbage series.
You know, I wouldn't be mad
Harold and
about
Kumar,
Spy Kids in D.
I'm just putting it in D.
Okay, I would agree with you
Um,
on that if I had never seen them. I've seen part of one of them last time I was at a friend's house, and I was like, okay, this is actually pretty funny. But, you know, I've only seen part of one of them, so.
All right. John Wick. Where are we putting John
Haven't seen
Wick?
them.
I've seen only the
I-
first one.
I think they're a little overhyped. But they're still like Keanu Reeves kills it.
I think in my
So-
mind it's very comparable to like the Peaky Blinders type of media. So I kind of feel like you don't necessarily enjoy that, but I think there is an audience that appreciates it, and I would argue that's probably
Yeah, I mean this
I
entire
would-
thing's subjective.
well, yeah, I would argue it higher if I've seen majority of the films. I've only seen one of them, so
All right, Alien. I'm A tier.
can't argue because I haven't
Convince me
seen it.
otherwise.
I think I've
Haven't
seen
seen it.
Alien and Aliens. Granted, that was a long time
Aliens
ago.
is the good one.
Yeah.
Alien Cubed honestly is kind of not that great, but Alien and Aliens are so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Back to the Future.
1, 2, and 3. Like 1 and 2, a phenomenal. 3, kind of I'm feeling B.
I don't know.
How do
I
we
mean,
feel?
by that criteria, like you said, A has two really good ones, and then
Yeah, that's a good point. I was thinking more so just because like, 1 and 2 are really good.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
like you could argue
Okay.
one could not have like one was done like extremely well. If you remade it, you would do something worse than it.
Mm-hmm.
Two
Yeah.
also very good.
And two was just like fun. Anyway, okay, we're gonna get our knockoff spy movies out of the way. We got Austin Powers, which like I'm feeling C or D.
Haven't seen it.
I'm noticing a trend
Haven't
with
seen
like this style of like Hangover, Harold and Kumar, and Austin Powers. You're all ranking low, but I can't argue with you
I mean-
because I don't either haven't seen them or don't remember much of them. So
I mean, they're funny, and like I watched them when I watched all the Bond movies, but they're they're very good parodies, but I don't know. I'm putting it in D tier.
Yeah.
Naked Gun. Have you guys seen Naked Gun?
This is one of those movies that like I
been
went to
one.
like vacation once, and it was like the only thing on TV at the time, and so I just happened to watch it, and it was thoroughly enjoyable. But I've
That's
not seen
a-
all of them.
That's a
They're
Steve
very
Martin
funny.
one, right?
Uh-huh.
I remember enjoying
it's
them,
fun.
but
My roommate, I don't think he listens to the podcast, but if he does, shout out to Cameron. He told me that like the movies are based on an older TV show called Police Force, which you can find on YouTube, and they're like 20-minute episodes, if that, and they're really funny. And I would recommend checking them out. But like Naked Gun derives a lot of the jokes from that, and it's really funny. So I'll throw it in B. Any complaints?
no.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
All right, Rush Hour. How are we feeling?
I've seen pieces, but not enough to give weight.
I should have saved the ones we really know for last, but whatever.
Yeah, Rush Hour. I mean, it's kind of the classic. Like, I feel like Jackie Chan does a lot of movies like Rush Hour, where it's like him and someone teaming up who wouldn't necessarily have teamed up in most circumstances.
Very, very generic, like cop action movie type vibes, but like
Good.
it is very funny.
Yeah.
But
No, I remember enjoying Rush Hour. I don't. It's like most of them. Like most movies, I completely forget the plot of, even if I really enjoy them.
But if I'm looking at like Iron Man, prequel trilogy, Indiana Jones, Dark Knight, like I can't put Rush Hour with that, so I'm putting it at C. All right, finally, I don't even know if I've seen all of these. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly trilogy, which is Few Dollars More, Fistful of Dollars, and The Good, Bad, and Ugly. And I've seen either A Few Dollars More or Fistful of Dollars. I don't remember which one, honestly. But like they're just like classic West, like basically make the genre westerns, right?
Yeah.
Which are very good, and they've got incredible lines like there are two types of people in this world: those with a loaded gun and those who dig.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think I've seen one Clint Eastwood movie, and it was Gran Torino.
Gran Torino is a great one.
Yeah.
Also on top 250. So
It is on the top two. That's interesting. But
so
I
Good, the
enjoyed
Bad,
it.
and the Ugly, and then either Fistful of Dollars or A Few Dollars More. I want to say it's a Fistful of Dollars, but that will do it for our tier list. Let us know if you think that we're right, if we're wrong, or don't ever talk to us because you never do anyways. I'm calling you out. Yep. You individual. But that's the end of this episode. Went a little long, but that's okay because you needed to know what 3 random people on the internet thought of all those movies. And so,
And what we thought
don't forget
we're capable of.
exactly. You should check out the ones I recommended. What do we have on S tier? So if you're really looking for something phenomenal to watch, you should check out the original Star Wars trilogy, Lord of the Rings, or the Curious George trilogy. All equal in cinematic value.
I don't think I would have picked those out to recommend them by myself whatsoever.
Honestly, yeah. If I was like recommending some trilogies to people, those would not have been the ones I picked out. But it's how the tier list ended up.
Kung Fu Panda is what you should take from this.
If you haven't seen Kung Fu Panda, you are missing out.
You should
And
definitely watch Kung Fu Panda.
little last second one. Where would you put How to Train Your Dragon, Brent?
S tier.
S tier for me as well.
So
Or
S tier
with-
for so good.
with Kung Fu Panda, in my opinion. But that's not where we put it. Because sad.
Yeah.
Brent, where would you put
Anyway.
the Despicable Me trilogy?
No, not doing it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow. Always helps us out. Always appreciate it. We're getting up there in views. We're staying pretty consistent in terms of listenership, and so
Shout outs.
always
Thank
nice.
you.
Keep listening.
Yeah.
Final thoughts. What do you guys got?
Despicable Me is S or A tier. That's my final thought.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, definitely first one I would put S or A tier. First one phenomenal. Don't really remember the other two. I think I only saw part of 2 and never any of 3. Anyways, final thoughts. Shout out to Brent's mom.
Shout out to Mom. Will Smith, come to the podcast. Do you think if we wrote him a letter,
He's got to have
to-
some kind of agent that people reach out to about ideas.
We
or
always
something.
talk
I
about
think
this, but we
if-
never actually take action.
I think if any of us are ever gonna be, I think if any of us are ever implicated in any kind of serious crime, they're gonna like find the podcast and then use us talking about Will Smith every episode as like evidence of weird obsession.
Nah, that could never happen. Because we're totally normal.
Right.
And with that,
I don't
Have a
plan on
bombastic-
being implicated in a serious crime.
you
for the record,
interrupted
personally.
my have a bombastic week.
Well,
Have
Well.
a bombastic. Ah, it's over. It's over. It's done. I stopped recording.
Have a bombastic week.
have a bombastic week.
We'll see you next time.